Hi, it's Dave Altavilla for HotHardware.com, and we're here with Apple's new iPad tablet PC. We figured we'd give you a quick little demo of the product in action, but before we do, here's a quick sense of scale. We have the iPad in front of an Asus EPC 7-inch netbook on the left here, and on the right is a 13.3-inch ultra thin and light Sony Vaio notebook. Okay, we have the iPad's keyboard fired up here in Gmail. And here you can see the netbook's chiclet style keyboard, a little on the cramped side, a little bit more spacious on the iPad, and on the right is the full-size notebook keyboard. Okay, so here we are with the iPad, and it weighs in at about 1.5 pounds, but it feels pretty sturdy in your hand, and it's very thin. But it's definitely got a weight advantage over the netbook at about 2.5 pounds, and the notebook that weighed in at about 3.5 pounds. Let's look at some ports. Over here is the speaker port, okay? You've also got a dock/sync and charging port, very standard to the iPod Touch or the iPhone. It's the same connector. Over here is the volume control, and the screen lock switch is right here. Top here is a power button, and over here is a stereo headphone jack and a microphone port, and that's really about it. So the screen in the iPad's a nice 10-inch screen. It's actually 9.7 inches to be exact. It's 1024 by 768 native resolution. It's a glossy panel, but Apple did a nice job at minimizing glare with it, and images on the iPad are real sharp and vibrant. Colors are excellent. We wish the iPad had a stand on the back of the iPad of some sort. But other than that, the interface is very responsive. It's an iPhone OS for all intents and purposes, and it's very responsive and loads applications very quickly. And we'll step through a few apps next. Okay, so let's fire up one of our favorite social networking apps. It's free on the App Store. It's called Tweetdeck. And this version was specifically designed for the iPad interface. As you can see, it loaded quite quickly there, and we're running over Wi-Fi right now. We do not have the 3G version. But as you can see, you've got all your friends here, your mentions, direct messages over here, and of course, should you want to tweet, click the new tweet button and up pops the keyboard. The keyboard's actually quite nice in landscape mode on the iPad. You've got lots of room to type. It's you know, sort of like a good-sized netbook feel, but in portrait mode, things get a little bit tighter. Now you're really talking about, you know, sort of a hunt and peck interface in this portrait mode, but with Tweetdeck, just an example of a free social networking app. And speaking of the App Store, it's full of lots of different apps designed specifically for the iPad. From various different categories: books, business, education, games, productivity, what have you. The price on some of these apps is a little on the high side in our opinion, to be honest. The average productivity app, for example, we installed Pages, which is your actually a very nice word processor application. It costs $10, and that's not uncommon. There's another spreadsheet application also on the App Store for $10. But Pages is nice. It's a basic word processor. You can go ahead and, you know, flip through your documents with it, edit them, what have you. Let's try and bring that up now. There's the editor. Again, keyboard in portrait or landscape mode. And when you're done, you can go ahead and grab that document, and this is kind of a nice feature. You can send it via email, and you can use the Pages format. For somebody that has the application, you can create a PDF or a Word doc and then send out your format of choice to your email contact. Email on the iPad is pretty straightforward. We've actually installed our Gmail, and as you can see, we've got a split screen approach. Over here is our inbox, or maybe you might want to look at your sent bin or what have you. And over here is actually the email pane for the email you happen to be looking at that time. And should you want to create a new email, you just fire that up, keyboard comes up, you can delete, you can forward, you know, all basic email functions that you would require. Photos on the iPad are actually quite nice as well. You've got your standard interface here. We don't have too many photos, but you can go ahead and look at those. You can do a slideshow, you can, you know, play it to music, different transition types, and then of course you can forward that photo onto a contact of your choice via email, use it as a wallpaper, copy the photo, what have you. So different functionalities in the photo app. And of course you've got your standard iPod music app, okay, and Safari, which is your web browser. And here we are over a Wi-Fi connection, 802.11n Wi-Fi connection. HotHardware loads up nicely. We can scroll, of course. Everybody's probably seen this demo, pinch and zoom, which is actually real nice. I mean, the iPad's very fluid that way. Lots of nice functionality. And as you can see, in portrait and landscape mode, with pinch and zoom, the web is hugely navigable and, dare we say, very responsive. Now, from a video perspective, the iPad is a very capable machine. And we've loaded up a high-definition digital video trailer here from the iTunes store. It's Lord of the Rings. And as you can see, things are going to be very fluid here. And image quality is excellent. Okay, so that's content that you may have resident on the iPad or perhaps purchased from the iTunes store. However, if you're streaming content from the web, there are some limitations. Of course, the iPhone OS and the iPad does not support flash encoded video files that are on the internet. And actually, what you should see on this page is HotHardware's Alienware Area 51 review, video review, that should be right dead center of that page, but it's just not even showing up. However, YouTube videos are supported, and this is actually a video from our home theater PC how-to guide that we recorded previously, and as you can see, it plays in the web browser, the Safari web browser window, quite nicely. And as long as you're streaming video content from YouTube, the iPad can handle it. Flash content from any other source, flash video content, is not supported. And of course, the way you get all of your media files, information, documents, what have you, onto the iPad is via syncing it through iTunes. And there are a number of different connectors that you can sync information to the iPad with. And we actually had our iPad connect with Outlook, and it pulled in all of our contacts. This is the contact information. We also had it sync our calendar from Outlook, and it brought that in. And as you can see, it's a nice daytimer sort of interface. And another application that you can pull down off the App Store, of course, is iBooks. It is the e-reader application for the iPad, and it's quite slick. We actually pulled down a free iBook, Winnie the Pooh, a timeless classic. As you can see, we can read that book in portrait and landscape mode, and of course, the signature page turn swipe of the iBooks application. Actually quite slick. And it's a very nice experience. You know, a lot of folks, gave the iPad a little bit of a hard time for not having e-ink capability, but I think it's real comfortable to read an ebook on the iPad. And finally, the iPad is actually a fairly capable gaming system. Again, on the App Store, there are a number of different games available. They range in price, and frankly, again, some of them are a little on the pricey side. This is Asphalt 5. It is a racing simulation game, and we downloaded it for $10, $9.99 on the App Store. And actually loads pretty quickly off of the iPad's solid-state drive. And it's got pretty darn good graphics. I would say PlayStation 2 quality graphics. And as many of you may have seen before, demonstrating a racing simulation, you can see that we're steering the vehicle with the iPad's accelerometer/positional system. And there are a number of different other types of games you can find on the App Store of various different genres. And that's about it for our quick little tour of Apple's new iPad tablet PC. Be sure to check out the full review with all the details at HotHardware.com.